Hello and welcome. My name is William Brown from Rockville, Maryland. I'm actually a Full Sail University student currently, and today I'm actually going to be taking you through the journey of the evolution of the Blaxploitation genre. And the Blaxploitation genre, it's a lot of times people don't really know about it because it was a very short genre. But post the genre, a lot of more African American films came out until today. We can't really differentiate between a Blaxploitation film and a regular African American film.
The original wave of the Blaxploitation era was formed in the early 1970s to the mid-1970s. Gordon Parks' Shaft, starring Richard Roundtree, is considered not only as the first film of the Blaxploitation era, but also the best film of the era.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that, post 1975 that, they stopped making black movies completely. That's actually when, they started making more films about, the black race and the black culture and the black community. That's actually around the time where, blacks or African Americans, became a part of the conversation in Hollywood filmmaking.
When sound was incorporated into the motion pictures industry, it increased production budget, which made it difficult for African American producers to produce films. Most of the black films prior to the Blaxploitation era were produced and directed by white independent companies. African American filmmakers like Oscar Micheaux were one of the rare producers who made it out of the Depression era. According to Jesse Rhines, author of Black Film, White Money, films of the Blaxploitation era weren't examples of African American filmmaking. They weren't examples of African American filmmaking because of the white control behind the scenes. Black stereotypes appeared in films way before the Blaxploitation era. D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation created the greatest controversy concerning racism in film. Ken Vidor's Hallelujah during the Depression era was the first sound film to have all black cast, and within this film, the central theme depicted around African Americans in the South, staying in the South on their farms and picking cottons as a traditional and a normal way of living life. In 1969, Gordon Parks became the first African American to direct a major studio film through his autobiography. Blaxploitation movies paved the way for higher and quality films about black lives. Black actors like Eddie Murphy weren't threatening to the white audience or the white community. He was proudly black and funny. According to Roger Egbert of the Chicago Sun-Times, Spike Lee's film School Days was a film in which the African American characters were relating to each other. It was a film about black people for black people. The year 1999, 19 films by young black filmmakers were released. Spike Lee produced Jungle Fever with a slight touch of interracial romance. Singleton's Boys in the Hood in 1991 won an Oscar nomination.
How does an industry go from, D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation, right, which was actually approved and co-signed by the president, to Boys in the Hood, within the same century? And you tend to ask yourself, how does that even happen?
The president of the Beverly Hills Hollywood branch of the NAACP, Junius Griffin, coined the term Blaxploitation. Initially, the Blaxploitation genre was often produced and written by whites for the purpose of profiting off low-income black communities. Blaxploitation films often dealt with urban geographical settings. Geographical settings such as the ghetto, a soundtrack of contemporary music like blues, jazz, soul music, etc. Black protagonists and white antagonists were often in Blaxploitation films. Also in Blaxploitation films, you were able to see the supply of action and violence. Also, rags to riches happened to be the central theme for a lot of these African American movies being produced around this era.